Westerado is a game that, like Star Sector and Cortex Command, I played it a long time ago, and I've wanted to tell people about it ever since. There might be a couple more in the future, too. Cortex Command was a janky piece of shit with an excellent idea that was a ton of fun to play in brief periods. Star Sector as a title is an incredibly AAA Stellaris but better, but it's disguised as a $15 sandbox game. Westerado? Alright, so it was originally a Flash game that was available for free to be played in a browser. I think it was released in early 2013, but there doesn't actually seem to be any official dates. After 2 years, it got made into a full proper game that you can now buy on Steam for $15. It's an open world murder mystery, optionally permadeath western. For some reasons that I'm not going to get into, I will very rarely ever bring up music in my videos, except for this game. Westerado's music is, yeah, it's good. Westerado also has an absolutely gorgeous pixel art style. There's a handful of differences between it and the original Flash version, but they're all improvements and are always steps up, sometimes significantly. The full game sort of ends up making the original Flash version look a lot more rudimentary and basic, as it, probably should. It's a Western, so your ranch getting burnt down isn't a spoiler. Obviously, everything goes to shit after about 5 minutes, that's how Westerns work. When you get home and you find your brother, he's used to introduce 2 very unique mechanics to Westerado. The first mechanic is clues. Anytime you help people, they'll give you clues as to what the murderer who killed your family was wearing. In your journal, you have this neat little diagram that shows all the possible looks of your family's killer. As you get more and more clues from people, either through being genuinely helpful or a scumfuck bastard like yours truly, the amount this varies changes wildly. And it goes from a vague guess until eventually, well, we'll get there. The second mechanic that your almost dead brother teaches you is the ability to pull out your gun at anyone, at any time, in any conversation. This can be done with literally anyone, and with the oil tycoon, it's the only way to even start his quest line. Speaking of which, there are a bunch of those. Westerado also flexes its replayability here by not only having a load of things to do, but also for a good handful of them to have branching paths. Help the oil tycoon or kill him. Help the military run out the Native Americans, do the opposite, or form peace. That kind of thing. In my most recent playthrough for this video, I even learned that you can raid this caravan instead of protecting it, which I had never seen before. There's a handful of different weapons you can buy. The rifle and shotgun are the only good ones, and the rest barely compete. The combat in general is pretty easy to cheese once you get used to it. Shoot people from below so you can hit them while they can't hit you. It's pretty basic Technoblade physics. And make sure to line them all up so they die in one shot. Have you noticed that in all the dialogue there are these lines up at the top and bottom? Hey, wait a minute. This whole game's premise is like a pretty generic movie plot. If you go on enough of a massacre in the town, this happens. It runs through pretty much every enemy type in the entire game until eventually you kill the Power Rangers, and then the director, and then the movie gets cancelled on TV. Now, I'm not 100% sure if this is how it worked, but in the original Flash version, I'm pretty sure that the way that finding the murderer worked was that he was just genuinely some random guy anywhere in the world that you could kill at any time. In the full paid version, however, it works as follows. After you get their appearance either completely or mostly down, walking through one of the handful of civilian populated areas has a chance to spawn them, until eventually you find them and confront them. Once you go chase them down, the segment that follows is a little overly long, but it's pretty fun. This section specifically is an excellent use of Westerado's unique mechanics. where you have to actually remember what your killer looked like, and the other two will be vaguely different. After mercilessly slaughtering literally everyone, you cheese the fuck out of the killer, and the fight is pretty much a breeze. There are a whole lot of endings, and I just so happen to get my favorite in this video. Anyway, so that's Westerado. Wait a minute, Adult Swim games? Since when did they... Oh. Okay. Hopefully the day never comes where I become Pocket Morty's YouTuber. Unless they give me money, anyway. Like these people. Next video is, come back later.
Star Destroyer reporting in.